Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're reviewing a Dodge Durango Hellcat. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Carl Malone Dodge here in Heber, Utah for giving me some time with this Hellcat Durango. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 12 around town and then 17 on the highway, with power outputs being a whopping 710 horsepower and then 645 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, you guys can see the venting there, and yes, it is functional, and yes, it definitely looks cool as well. And then popping down below, love the daytime running light design, and then you guys can see with the grille how it's all open to allow for lots of airflow to feed that big V8. And then you guys can see here with the darker trim at the bottom, again, all open as well. And putting it all together, I mean, this looks pretty aggressive for a minivan, if you get what I'm saying. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 295 45 20 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheels, they got a really nice satin finish. You got the red brake caliper, Brembo brakes for those of you that are wondering. And then we have these nice body painted fender flares, Hellcat badge on the side. Mirror caps are blacked out, and then you guys can see the window trim's also blacked out. And then you got SRT there on the rear brake, that's cool. And then here is the full side view with the Hellcat Durango. Now I got the Hellcat logo on the back of the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function, opening for the hatch, remote start as well. Now in the back of the Durango, you guys can see there's a decent amount of cargo space behind the third row, but if you want real storage space, you got to fold the third row down like so. And look at that, red seat belt's pretty cool. Got a 12 volt here in the back, and you guys can see cup holders for the rear passengers. I've said this before, but I'll say it again, I would reserve the third row in the Durango for kids. That's pretty typical with most SUVs in this segment. But also, look at these seats. Really nice trim. When you're all done with the back, just press that button and that will lower the hatch down. And look at the cool Durango light bar design that's been around for like ever. Got the Hellcat badge there as well. You guys can see the parking sensors and then pretty dang aggressive exhaust tips. And putting it all together, let me know your thoughts on the overall design here with the Hellcat Durango. Now taking a look at the door panel here in the back, you guys can see soft touch here at the top, and then look at the forged carbon, and then really nice stitching down below. And then with the seats perforated all down the center, really cool red leather design, again, red seat belt. Legroom here in the back's good. We have a little storage pocket. We've got some vents here in the back, heated seats, USBs, full power outlet. Got some cup holders there, center console, some more nice leather trim. We have our own climate zone here in the rear, and then headroom. It's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, again, soft touch here, and then the forged carbon down below, and then you can see all the stitching there. We've got all of our window controls, front to your automatic. You got your mirror adjustments, memory seats, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then Harbin Kardon sound system. And then really nice red leather trim here at the front seats, power adjustments on the side, fancy pedals down below. Light controls here, you can see the nice trim, and then the dash has a bunch of nice trim and stitching all across. Now I've got this really beefy steering wheel perforated on either side so you can get a slightly better grip. Big paddle shifters on the back for the 8-speed automatic. We got radio controls on top of that. We have our controls for the cruise control, adaptive cruise control. We also have controls for the center stack, and then a regular stock there on the back for the windshield wiper and turn signal. And then here's a look at the gauge cluster itself. We can scroll through, see different bits of information here on the Durango Hellcat. And then on top of that, when you change the drive modes here with the Durango Hellcat, it will kind of pop up there in the center with a little icon letting you know what drive mode you're in. And speaking of drive modes, you can see them here in the center that you can go between, and this has like the biggest range of drive modes of any vehicle on the planet. It can, you know, obviously do inclement weather stuff, but then sporty stuff, but then it can also tow. Like, it's hilarious if you think about it. And then you got an eco mode for a Hellcat, which is also funny. One thing about the Durango Hellcat is it just has a backup camera, no 360 camera or anything like that. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, it responds pretty well. It's easy to use overall. And then we've got analog controls here for the radio, dual zone climate system, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. And then you guys can see SRT there. Launch control, stability control, parking sensors, lane departure, and then our little charging area with the wireless phone charging pad. Shifter here for the 8-speed automatic. Got some cup holders next to that, more forged carbon. And you guys can see with the center column's got 12 volt inside. And then with the glove box, yeah, nicely lined with felt. It's pretty spacious too. And then we do have a sunroof up top and then a very premium headliner. And this Durango Hellcat's all in, stickers for, just kidding, $110,390. That is correct. Doo-doo-doo. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do blind spot monitoring, throw the rest of the rear, and let us set off in the loaded up Hellcat Durango, $110,000 MSRP. Just a couple bucks. You know what I think Dodge should do on the Durango window stickers? Just put a big old logo that says Section 179. That's how you sell Durangos. Oh man, I'm glad I am not that tow truck driver, because pulling out of that, or yeah, in that tight space, that is yeah, difficult. So first off, seats are pretty dang comfortable, so that's a nice thing. I love the sound, the rumble of this powertrain. Got that nice deep V8 sound. A little bit of supercharger whine. It's fun. Drives well too. It's very smooth. Ah, Rivian. We could probably beat, maybe we could beat them in a race. I'm not sure. We got 710 horsepower, supercharged V8. They'll run out of battery juice before they can win the race. That's how that works. Even though this only gets like 12 miles per gallon. Just listen to that. It's so nice. Or pop it into track mode. Screw it. Yeah, you just get a nice deep rumble from the V8. It's definitely a fun part of the overall experience. And this thing is it's fast, to say the least. It is fast. It's insane for a 3-row SUV, basically a minivan, Dodge's minivan. It's not called the Grand Caravan. Yeah, it's fun. Honestly, the only reason why I did this review is I was here to compare a Power Wagon to a Rebel, and this was here, and so I figured, well, since I'm up here anyways, might as well do a Hellcat review while they still have this. No other reason, honestly. So yeah, I've done quite a few Hellcat reviews, I feel like, for the 23 model year, because it's the last model year, and it's a fun vehicle. It drives really well. Like, you could daily drive this so easily. It's a good luxury car. It's insanely fast, and yeah, it's a lot of money, but you know, it's got a lot of practicality. And if you happen to be a business owner, Section 179. That's all I gotta say. Just just slap your logo on the side, and boom, $110,000 tax write-off. So, let me know your thoughts on the Hellcat Durango. But in terms of SUVs, I think this might be the ultimate. We'll never see another supercharged V8 family SUV again. At least unless things drastically change. I just don't think that's gonna ever happen again. But let me know your thoughts on the Hellcat Durango. Let me know your thoughts on if it's worth paying $110,000 for a Dodge.